He murdered in the shadows, terrified an entire city, and then vanished without a trace. Jack the Ripper is history's most infamous serial killer, and to this day, no one knows who he was or why he suddenly stopped. Let's go back to the year 1888. London's East End, especially the Whitechapel district, was a grim place. Overcrowded, deeply impoverished, and rife with crime. But what began that summer would shock even the most hardened police officers and residents. It started with vulnerable women, mostly working the streets, turning up brutally murdered. On August 31st, the body of Marian Nichols was found in Bucks Row. Her throat had been cut and her body mutilated. Investigators immediately suspected a killer with chilling, almost surgical precision. Just over a week later, on September 8th, Annie Chapman was killed. The horror escalated. Found in a backyard, her injuries were even more severe. Fear began to ripple through London. The city was on edge. Then came the double event on September 30th. First, Elizabeth Stride was found. Her throat was cut, but there was no further mutilation. Many believe the killer was interrupted during the act, but he wasn't finished. Less than an hour later, the body of Catherine Eddowes was discovered. Her injuries were extreme, confirming the killer had struck again that same night. London was now gripped by full-blown panic. The final confirmed victim was Mary Jane Kelly, murdered on November 9th. Her death was the most brutal of all. Unlike the others, she was killed indoors, in her own room. This gave the killer time, and the scene that greeted police was beyond anything they had ever witnessed. And then, silence. After Mary Jane Kelly, the killings that fit the Ripper's pattern just stopped. He simply vanished. For over a century, historians and criminologists have debated why. There are several leading theories. First, he died. A sudden illness, an accident, or even suicide could have ended his reign of terror. Some of the most prominent suspects did in fact die shortly after 1888. Second, he left London. Whitechapel was close to the city's bustling docks. If the killer was a sailor or a transient worker, he could have easily boarded a ship and disappeared, either taking his crimes elsewhere or stopping completely. Third, he was imprisoned or institutionalized. Several violent suspects were committed to asylums or jailed for other crimes around that time. If he was locked away, the killings would naturally cease overnight. Fourth, he reached a psychological climax. Mary Jane Kelly's murder was by far the most extreme. Some profilers believe that this act was the ultimate fulfillment of his twisted compulsions. After that, the urge to kill may have simply faded. And finally, the police pressure became too much. After the double murder in September, patrols were increased, media coverage exploded, and the public became a network of amateur detectives. The killer may have decided the risk of getting caught was just too high. Despite hundreds of suspects, modern forensic reviews, and over a century of tireless investigation, Jack the Ripper's true identity remains one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. 5 women were murdered, a city was terrorized, and a killer stepped back into the shadows, disappearing forever. Thanks for watching. If you find true crime and historical mysteries fascinating, be sure to subscribe for more content like this. See you next time.